Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a privilege and pleasure to be here today. Thank you. I feel humbled and honored. This is my very first time that I'm on stage, no longer as a Google employee. I finished that job on Friday, and it's fantastic to be able to speak freely. So I'm in awe of what I've heard from all the other presenters. Thank you. I've made notes and I've got new ideas, new inspiration, and I'm excited about what Bulgaria is going to deliver. Thank you very much for hosting me and my wife here. Such a beautiful place, beautiful city, beautiful country, but also this event. And there's been a lot of talk about artificial intelligence. But I don't want to talk about artificial intelligence because we've got real intelligence in the room rather than just artificial intelligence. Instead, what I'd like to do is I'd like us to turn the table around, and instead of looking at what can artificial intelligence learn from us, let's have a look at what we can learn from artificial intelligence. Specifically, in my years at Google and at Microsoft and in our own businesses, I have seen time and time again that people start innovating with good intent and then get stuck. And I'd love us to see what can we learn from how machines learn to know how we can get unstuck and get innovation going as it should be. And I would say the key to it is having a learning mindset. So, if you bear with me, I'm going to share with you 4 ideas. The first one is, I want you to look for things that are different. Try and find the surprise. If something works every time and suddenly it doesn't, what does that tell you? How can you learn from that? There are many great ideas, many businesses that have got to that precipice point where they're about to struggle to continue and grow and develop. And they find this one edge case where their product's not useful. And actually by looking at that, it gives them inspiration to move forward. So try and find that one in the 99. So I realize the clicker jumps, so let me go back one slide. I want to encourage you also to fail well. I love the conversation from TDI and Peter when he talked about failing. You know, you and I, while we are humans, will make mistakes. In fact, our copy counterparts of artificial intelligence also make mistakes. So rather than try and pretend we don't make mistakes, let's fail better. Let's fail smarter. When we trip up, let's look back and see what caused that and how can I prevent that. In fact, I think the biggest thing that stops us from failing well is fear. Does that resonate with you? How often are we worried that this thing might get us fired, or this thing might lose us the deal, or this thing might not work and therefore we'd rather not try it? I love the quote earlier about social media where you need 3,000 people, 330, and then maybe 3 turn up. I think the same applies for ideas. It's easy to get ideas, but only a tiny number of those succeed as innovation. So accept that many ideas will fail and try and move as quickly through those as possible so that you can spend more time developing the 3 successful ones rather than spending too much time working on something that's not successful. So try and fail quicker and cheaper. There are so many good examples in our world today where people take too long to fail. And I don't want to spend time on that, but I just want to encourage you, fail quickly and have that learning mindset. So after looking for that difference, I also want to encourage you to listen. Listen a little bit more. You know, again, the real intelligence are probably your team, the people in the office with you, the people around you that you already love, already trust. What do they say to you that you are ignoring? I see frequently companies pay lots of money for big consulting firms to bring some new ideas in. But the ideas are frequently already in the business. They just didn't listen to that. Here's my top tip to you as a business owner. If you, as the leader of the organization, want to reward one of your individuals, one of the best ways you can reward them is not with stock options or more money or promise of a bonus, but to listen to them. If they see a sincere interest in what they give you as feedback, they are likely to actually excel at that and give you better feedback, and your business will succeed better on the back of that. So I want to encourage you to listen well. Anyone with an ear should listen. And then lastly, this is my fourth point and the final point I want to make. And this has been touched on several times during the day. And this actually should be the first point because it's the most important one. If you don't have clarity on what your purpose is and why your business exists, you're going to fail. Let me point out the similarities between machine learning. Machine learning grows brilliantly if you can get it to look more and take more of a prompt input. It does brilliantly if you tell it where it's gone wrong. And it does brilliantly by trialing things repeatedly to sort of fail and repeat it, right? But in terms of purpose, let me just give you a quick snippet of a story of what I've seen in my previous life when I was at Google. One of my colleagues, an engineer, this is now 15 years ago or so, had a job where he did not need to do any machine learning or any artificial intelligence work, but he wanted to learn. So he started with a bit of a hands-on lab, and the first thing the lab said is set up this, that, and the other, and get some data. And in order to find some data, he looked around, and of course, lots of the data is privacy protected or confidential, and he couldn't use that. But then he found a friend that said, I could give you some data center data from our coolers and chillers that keeps the computers cool in the data center. And I can tell you the temperature of the data center, and maybe you can start to build a model around that. And this engineer's objective was to reduce the energy consumption. And he crunched the numbers, put it through a model, created something, tried to simulate it, and this model was amazing. It could save 100% of the energy by turning off the cooling systems completely. Of course, what happened is if you were to implement that, the machines would melt. So it's not a good idea. But the point is, by giving the objective of saving 100% of the energy, you actually miss some of the side effects. As business owners, it's imperative that you chase financial success. Money in a business is like oxygen for the human body. Without money, a business frequently can't succeed for long. But it's not the purpose. You see, as soon as I say the money is not the purpose, it cuts out. Let me just continue. Yeah, it seems like I'm back online, maybe, mostly. So if you miss the fact that your business has a purpose beyond money, you are likely to get the wrong behavior. I have seen that time and time again in big business, especially, where they chase a number and forget that they actually are losing their customers. And for this quarter, it looks good, because they succeeded at hitting that number, but actually they lost so much more than that. So I want to encourage you, not only should you have this purpose, which is very common amongst founders, that you start with a purpose, but that you communicate that well to your team. If your team understand the purpose and are bought into the mission of your organization, they will make the right decisions on the way. But if that is not clear, you'll get the same as my colleague got who built a machine learning model is for the first time. If people don't know what the purpose is, they might achieve a result which actually breaks the purpose. So with that, let me just summarize this again. It's been a privilege to be here. It's been a privilege to see the fantastic work by Bulgaria in general, but also all the presenters here. But I want to encourage you, if you are thinking about innovation, don't forget the humans. Don't forget the culture in your organization. And don't forget to make sure that you fail well, that you listen to the people in your organization, that you look for the edge cases, and that you communicate that purpose well. Thank you.